Well, good evening. So, what do we have here is xeno rampant. So I've had it a few weeks now, and what do I think of it? Well, it's pretty good. So it's quite simple. You kind of got 5 hit points in a unit, and you can extend units up to take 10 or in some cases 15. When you take 50% of your hits, then your firepower reduces. So quite simple, quite easy. And what you do is you choose your unit type, and sorry, my wife's stealing my food. So you choose your unit. She always steals my food. Why does she steal my food for? It's like a decor, by the way. Anyway, so you choose your unit. You've got heavy, light, things like recon. The difference between heavy and light is they're not like heavily armoured or lightly armoured really. It's kind of more like a training level. So you've got heavy infantry, light infantry. So your heavy infantry would be more like, say, your modern soldiers now with body armour, decent weaponry. They can call him, he's like artillery support and such. And then you've got your lighter infantry, which are more like your, I guess World War II, more like your militias maybe, but there is a militia class, so probably not like militias, but more like an untrained force, maybe like an Iranian force, an Iranian army. Anyway, so from there you've got your basic troop types, and then you can add little bits and bobs. So like, for example, I mentioned like artillery strike. It's called, I think it's off board or something. But anyway, you can order in, instead of shooting effectively, which is quite cool. It's quite a nice little effect. And then we got, you can add xenos rules. So if you want to be a bit more alien, you could have it as an xenos, and add like special things like chameleon or psychic, to give it a bit of taste and flavour. So I started sort of generating for a unit of my aliens. I shall just go and grab some models from there. Bear with me, I am not very well prepared. I never am though, am I? If I was prepared, where's been the fun in that? So, I'm going to get 1 or 2 of each section.
This video is not
That,
suitable for you, okay?
and then we've got, where's it to? So I'm just getting my models out now, the 3 classes that I was going to be using. Two. Got some things as well. Where's one for the really cool thing then doodly? Let's do a him, for example. Okay, and then my leader, which could be him, or it's not a very exciting bit of the video, really, this is it. We could just fast forward really quickly. And here we go. See, that was technology, wasn't it? Me talking fast. Okay, so I've got kind of I got a 4th unit, but I haven't got a model for it. Look, I put it down somewhere, and somebody tidied up. And you know what it's like when someone tidies up and you can't find anything. So it was a big dude though. It's like a big kind of dreadnought-y kind of alien. So these are my standard troopers. So what I've done with these is I originally gave them. I've still kept them with close support. Basically, what that does is it reduces their range and their points values in the case of light infantry. So I kept these as light. I did things like increase their speed. I gave them like special fields, and I gave them all this and that. And I kind of ended up I think less is more. So you want to just put less tweaks on the unit rather than more, because the idea is then you can field a bit better variety of units on the table. So like these guns here are bigger. So these kept their range, and I gave it a special skill where when you roll a 6 to hit, you get 2 hits instead of 1. So that was quite good. And that allowed, but I just kept it really basic like that. I took all the things off: extra speed and power fields and chameleon and all that sort of thing. Although it fits with them how I imagine them, sort of like I also imagine them as being quite sort of like drones, so quite expendable. I imagine them being sort of 3D printed on the UFO and then teleported down. And I got these guys, so more DNA 3D printed guys. I quite like the idea of DNA 3D printed stuff for an army. So yeah, so these are my snipers. I gave them sniper and counter sniper, so it kind of gives them a different use in the field, and kind of the laying back, you don't really see them much. They're kind of like skulking around. Quite an expensive unit, but quite a fun unit I can pop in if I need to in exchange for another unit. Going back to my close support, these come in a unit of 10. And my range ones are in a unit of 5. And then I've got my humans. So these are my heavy infantry, and they've got the orbital, or whatever it is, barrage thing, whatever it's called in the game. I've forgotten now. I kind of imagine that more like a UFO firing a beam down and just blowing stuff up. So I have these. And then for my leader, I'm going to have 2 different ones to choose from. I'm going to have this dude, which I really like. I picked this model up at a game show. I'll go through the models from a minute actually. And then I got this one, it's a 3D print. So it's a human. And I really like that. So this one here, if I recall, is Skullforge Studios, and it was for Star Wars. So he's quite a big guy. He's a bit bigger than my others. And I'm going to be really unfortunate here and rude. I don't honestly remember the name of the STL company that did these, but yeah, so that's good.
Come on out.
And
I'll see you later.
then we've got these guys here. These are from Wild West Exodus. They're from the Watcher faction. I really like them. They're plastics. I've got 2. I got 10 of each, so 10 of the close support. Is it? No, sorry, 5 of the close support. I've got 10 close support, 10 ranged, and actually this is kind of I think it's a support weapon version. I've got one of those, but it's kind of somewhere between the 2 sides of guns. But I was grabbing stuff out of a case without really looking. And then this dude here is from One Page Rules, and they're the Jackals, and I really like them. I've done a whole bunch of these, and they've come out really nice. They've got some big dudes as well. And I have to say, One Page Rules looks like a really good game system. It's the IGO alternative activations is probably the best way of describing it. So you activate a unit, and then your opponent activates a unit. With xenos rampant, you activate a unit, and then you take a test. You can do your 3 actions, which is fine, but then you can do a test to see if you can do something else. And if you fail, your turn's over. So what you tend to do is you activate all your good stuff first, and then as you go down, you kind of you take a risk and activate the next lot of stuff. Because if you activate your worst unit first and you fail, then that's your turn over, and everyone just stands around picking the nose, which is not ideal. Yeah. So you can have, you generally have about 1 vehicle. You can have a few big monstrous things in your army. It's called let's find it. So you've got recon infantry, greater xenomorphs. So they're generally kind of like creatures with big claws, and they just go around and batter stuff. But you can then change them so they go from close combat to shooting. So you can give it demolitions, which means that it counts enemy arm being half its normal enemy armor being half its normal value. So yeah, and you've got power blades instead, which you could take which reduces the armour by 1 point. You can't combine certain things, so you couldn't like try and just make something just make armour just disappear. You have ponderous. You have range attacks. Some things are quite good. They so for example, these creatures have got wild charge, but if you give them certain abilities, they lose the wild charge, so you can control them better. So like making it a shooter unit removes the wild charge because it's not really concentrating on eating everything. It's more like going to stand back and shoot. So yeah, it's a good little game. I think if you want to play a game that's going to be fun with your mates, not super competitive, and if you play it in the right, so I would say get the models you want to use and then build your list to your models, not your models to a list. So you kind of make this, and we're looking at really probably about 15, 10 to 20, 10, 15, 20 models, and then like a big model, maybe like maybe not even a vehicle, but maybe like the big xenomorph. You might get a vehicle in there. You're looking at really kind of like the same sized armies as old Road Trader, where you probably got 1 squad, maybe 2 squads, and then something like a bit fun, like a big monster or a vehicle, you know, which is good. You don't want too much stuff on the table. It's played on a 4x4 size table. I'm going to be going moon. Now, as you can see, I don't know, my base is brown because it's brown. So I might rebase them all for moon. I don't know. I need to have a think about that one. If I need to or not. Or I might just order a battle mat that fits with the bases and do some terrain for them. We shall see. So anyway, so that's where we are with xenos rampant. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you find it useful in some regard in your decision making. What I'm going to do is go away. I know, go away. Thank you, Matt. Just go away and don't come back. I'm just going to go away, and I will come back in a couple of days, or maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I don't know when. Look, it's a fish. Tickle the fish. Tickle the fish. So yeah, I'll come back and I'll make an army list, and we'll look at the army list, and you can laugh at my awful army list, or if you know the game very well, and if you don't know the game, it'll mean absolutely nothing to you. But I'll explain my decisions and what I've done, if I can remember, and I'll show you the toys, because that's what you want to see. Is you want to see the toys. And by the way, this is my elegant working area. It's I'm on shift later. So yeah. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Come back. I've got things to show you on a few other games. I've got a board game I can't remember the name of. That's really cool. But yeah. Have fun. Have a great week. Don't be a stranger. If you can, hit like, wherever that is. Hit subscribe, because it helps my ego. Because it's very low. It's like below 100. It's below 100 low. Let's get my ego above 100. Yeah. Right. See yos.